Deep within the serene heart of a dense, ancient forest, a figure of mystery resided. He was known only as the Black Monk, his presence as enigmatic as the whispering leaves and shadowed clearings. Whispers of his profound wisdom travelled on the wind, drawing seekers from afar, though few ever found his secluded dwelling. This was no ordinary hermit. He was cloaked in robes as black as a starless night, moving through the trees with the silent grace of a shadow. His hair and beard, a cascade of pure ebony, framed a face where his eyes held a depth that seemed to mirror the cosmos itself, brimming with the secrets of the universe. One day, a young traveler named Luka, exhausted from his long journey through the labyrinthine woods, stumbled upon the hermit's simple hut. Instead of suspicion, he was met with a serene smile. The Black Monk welcomed him inside, offering a warm cup of tea, its steam carrying the fragrant aroma of forest herbs. As the fire crackled, casting dancing shadows upon the walls, Luka's curiosity got the better of him. "Venerable one," he began, his voice soft, "why are you called the Black Monk?" The hermit looked up from the fire, his gaze both gentle and piercing. "I am called so," he replied, his voice calm and steady, "because my heart has learned to embrace the darkness within itself, just as I have embraced the deep, protective darkness of this forest. I have come to understand that within every shadow there is balance, and within that balance there is profound wisdom." Luka was captivated. The tales he'd heard were true. This man held a key to a deeper understanding of life. "Can you teach me?" Luka asked, his voice filled with a hopeful plea. "Can you show me the path to such wisdom?" The Black Monk nodded, a faint smile gracing his lips. He agreed to take Luka as his student. And so began Luka's new life, nestled in the heart of the forest. Years unfolded like the turning of seasons. Under the hermit's guidance, Luka learned the delicate art of stillness and the power of meditation. He discovered the hidden language of the plants and the silent wisdom of the animals. Most importantly, he began to understand the hermit's core teaching, the necessity of embracing both light and darkness. He learned that suppressing one's inner shadows only gives them more power. True strength, the monk taught, came from acknowledging them, understanding their origins, and integrating their lessons into the whole of his being. One afternoon, while meditating by a babbling stream, a series of frantic cries shattered the tranquility. Luka followed the sound and found a small raven on the forest floor, one of its wings twisted at an unnatural angle. It was grounded, vulnerable, and in pain. Without hesitation, Luka gently scooped up the injured bird. He carried it back to the hut, where he carefully cleaned its wound and fashioned a small splint for its broken wing. Day after day, he tended to the raven, feeding it, speaking to it in soft tones, and protecting it from predators. Slowly, the bird began to heal. It never regained its ability to fly long distances, but it became Luka's constant, loyal companion, hopping along beside him or perching on his shoulder. The Black Monk observed all of this from a distance, a knowing look in his deep eyes. When the raven was fully recovered, he approached Luka. "You have learned well, my student," he said, his voice imbued with pride. "Life is a tapestry woven with threads of light and dark, of joy and suffering, of wholeness and brokenness. Just as you have tended to this wounded raven, so too must you learn to tend to the wounded parts of your own heart. Do not discard them. Heal them with compassion." More years passed. Luka's youthful impulsiveness matured into quiet strength and deep compassion. He no longer feared the shadows that occasionally flickered within his own mind. He greeted them like old acquaintances, understanding they were as much a part of him as his joy and his love for the forest. He finally understood that true enlightenment wasn't the total eradication of darkness, but the profound acceptance of it as an integral, balancing force in the beautiful complexity of life. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the forest was bathed in the magical light of twilight. Luka stood before the black monk, his heart overflowing with a gratitude that words could barely contain. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for showing me the way of balance, for teaching me the meaning of true wisdom." The hermit smiled, and in his dark eyes the fading light of the day seemed to dance. "Remember this, my dear student," he said, his voice like the rustling of leaves in a final gentle breeze. "The forest holds both the deepest shadows and the brightest stars. You must embrace the darkness, for it is only by knowing its depths that you will find the most brilliant light of understanding." And with those final words, as if he were a part of the forest itself, the black monk seemed to dissolve into the deepening twilight. He faded back into the shadows from whence he came, leaving Luka alone, yet not alone. He was now a guardian of the forest's wisdom, a soul made whole by the lessons of the enigmatic hermit who had found perfect balance in the heart of the woods. Luka's journey would continue, his path forever illuminated by the light he had found within the darkness. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the heart of the forest. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales of wisdom and wonder. We'd love to have you in our community. Until next time, may you find the light within your own shadows.